Hello, welcome to today's speed build. So today I did a small starter home on the Crick Cabana lot in Willow Creek. It's a 20 by 15 lot, so it is pretty small, but I think I was able to utilize the space pretty well. And you'll see a little later that this is kind of an older style house, but what I envisioned was like a young couple came in and modernized it. So the inside has a more like modern style furniture. And then I think like the exterior sort of looks like it's been updated. Um, this build is one of those builds that is totally like a comfort build, something that aligns with my own personal style. Like I would love to move into a house just like this, and I love like the deep black exterior. And actually with the deep black, those shingles that I use from Cats and Dogs, I love them because I feel like they're one of the few siding options we have for exterior that actually is like a pretty true black, because I really wanted to use that. Well, I guess it's not a new swatch anymore. We've had them for quite a while, but in that update where we got a bunch of new swatches, I really wanted to use that dark black swatch, and there's not many options that you can use where it really sort of matches in, and even then it's not a perfect match. But anyways, I'm really happy with sort of finding that siding, and I think it looks really nice. Plus, I love using the shingles. It's something that I feel like you don't get an opportunity to use in builds very often. This actually kind of came about from a lot of trial and error with a different build. I recently went on vacation to this city called Leavenworth. It's a small town that's sort of themed after a German village. I've never been to Germany, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it was so nice. And when we stayed there, we stayed at this really cute A-frame cabin. And so ever since then, I've wanted to do an A-frame cabin build, but I just haven't been able to get anything that I'm happy with. So I wanted to build something really within my comfort zone, and that's where this build came from. So you can see I'm working on the landscaping. And if you've ever watched any of my other videos, I've talked about how landscaping is something I really struggle with. But just to celebrate like the little wins, I'm actually really happy with how this landscaping turned out. I wanted to make it look like there was sort of a garage level, and this was sort of a split level home. And I think I was able to do that pretty well. If you noticed in the front, I used those sliding doors from Snowy Escape, and I hoped they kind of mimicked a garage door as much as I could in such a small space. But yeah, so I wanted to make it look sunken in, and I think I was able to do that pretty well. And I guess like I felt like I was able to find the different landscaping plants that actually matched like and were the right tone. So all good things. I was really happy about. So I'm moving on to the interior. I wanted to go for a more mid-century style interior, and you'll see that a little later how that turned out, but I'm personally really happy with how it turned out. It definitely aligns with my own personal style because, again, I was wanting to do a comfort build. One thing I will say about this build is it is a little sparse since it is a starter home. I wasn't able to clutter it up as much as I usually like to, just because limited funds, and clutter items are so expensive in The Sims. But I was able to add in everything that you sort of need to get started. I wanted to make sure, of course, there was a computer and a nice little desk area. And with that sort of awkward space, I made it a little sitting zone. And I think that turned out really nicely. And then we're moving on to the bathroom. And I definitely loved how this bathroom turned out, especially considering I was working with a pretty small space. I think it looks really unique, and it's probably something that I'll be using a little bit more. And I did use the, what is the keys? I think it's Control F to do that triangle so I could make a pattern. I was going to use the new tile from, what is it, Decor to the Max, but since I wasn't using anything else, I just didn't want to rely on that kit. So I used that little hack and I think it looks really nice. And another little hack is those upper cabinets in the kitchen are actually from the shelf section and not from the kitchen section, because if you're trying to save a few simoleons, the one from the shelf section is actually 50 simoleons versus I think it's 150 or even 200 simoleons. So it helps keep the cost of the build down. So moving on to the living room, I just kept it really simple and yellow. And actually, this means we're coming close to the end of the build. So you can download this build on the gallery. My origin ID is SimmeredJess. I'm just adding in some NoCC Art, and I'll make sure to link that in the description where I got it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye.